7 irregularities that suggest the moon was constructed. Although the Apollo missions brought back vast amounts of data about the moon, it remains an enigma to astronomers and scientists. Dr. Robert Jastrow, the first chairman of NASA's Lunar Exploration Committee, called the moon the Rosetta Stone of the planets. But what is it about the moon that fascinates everyone? Well, there are many people who firmly believe that Earth's moon is actually a terraformed and even constructed piece of material with an outer layer of dust and rocks that is 3 miles thick. Underneath this layer, the moon is believed to have a solid shell about 20 miles thick, made of extremely durable materials such as titanium, uranium-236, mica, neptunium-237, certainly elements that one would not expect to find inside the moon. And there are many UFO writers around the world who speculate that the moon is actually a giant alien base where evolution is far ahead of humanity. There are so many mysteries surrounding Earth's moon that there are those who have suggested that the moon could be something completely different. Robin Barrett, a scientist from NASA, stated, "It seems easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than it is its existence." And here are 7 irregularities that suggest the moon is constructed and could be a giant hollow base. 1. The moon looks mechanical. In November 1969, NASA deliberately crashed a lunar module that caused an impact equivalent to a ton of TNT on the moon. Shock waves were created that NASA scientists could hear what was happening on the moon. Surprisingly, after the impact, NASA scientists said that the moon rang like a bell and the reverberation continued for 30 minutes. According to Ken Johnson, head of the Data and Photo Control Department, the moon did not just ring like a bell, but the entire moon crushed in such a way that it was almost as if it had giant hydraulic struts inside it. Number 2, the moon has features that it should not have. In 1970s, Mikhail Vasin and Alexander Sherbakov of the Soviet Academy of Sciences wrote an article titled, "Is the Moon the Creation of Alien Intelligence?" It was a very interesting article that raised some important questions. How is it possible that the surface of the moon is so hard, and why does it contain minerals like titanium? Mysteriously, there are some lunar rocks that have been found to contain processed metals like brass. The elements uranium-236 and neutronium-237 had never been found in the natural environment. However, there are traces of them on the moon. Uranium-236 is a radioactive nuclear waste found in spent nuclear reprocessed uranium. And more interestingly, neptunium-237 is a radioactive metallic element and is a byproduct of nuclear reactors and the production of plutonium. So you have to ask the question, what is happening on Earth's moon? Where do these elements and minerals come from? Number 3, Earth's moon does not have a core. Like every other planetary objects have a core. Researchers are almost 100% certain that the moon is in fact hollow or has a very low density interior. Surprisingly, the moon's mass concentration is located in a series of points just below the surface. 4, the moon is older than the Earth. Our moon is unlike any other satellite discovered in the known universe. Researchers know that the moon is 4.6 billion years old, and this raises many questions. This means that the moon is older than the Earth by almost 800,000 years, according to scientists. 5, incredible orbit. Earth's moon is the only moon in the solar system that has a static, almost perfect circular orbit. It is a fact that the moon does not rotate like a natural celestial body. In other words, our moon does not share any characteristics with other moons located in our solar system. If that is not strange enough, consider that from any point on the surface of our planet, only one side of the moon is visible. And what is the occultation of the moon? 6, lunar rocks and titanium. There are some lunar rocks that have been found to contain 10 times more titanium than the titanium-rich rocks on planet Earth. Here on Earth, we use titanium in supersonic jet aircraft, deep diving submarines, and other spacecraft. It's inexplicable. Dr. Harold Weir, who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, was terribly troubled. And he said the samples of rock found on the moon were incredibly rich in titanium, and that's why they drowned, as researchers could not detect the presence of titanium. 7. The precise position of the moon. Of all the above points, these points don't make you think differently about Earth's moon, here are some more interesting things about the moon. What keeps the moon in its almost perfect position? The moon has a precise altitude, course, and speed that allow it to function properly in relation to planet Earth. Simply put, the moon should not be where it is right now. Everything indicates that Earth's moon was actually placed in its current orbit in the distant past. The moon's unnatural orbit and irregular composition raise hundreds of questions that even scientists and astronomers or NASA geologists are unable to answer today. Despite efforts to understand Earth's natural satellite, the truth is that we have very little information about the origin and purpose of the moon. What do you think the moon is? A near-perfect natural phenomenon? Or does the origin of the moon surpass human understanding? Please leave your comments about this. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.